Iowa State Legislature suspended the legislative session for at least a month during the crisis. Illinois state lawmakers are at home this week and will be next week at least. One question is whether they'll be able to get things done. I spoke with Illinois State Representative Tony McCombie about that by way of Skype. Here's the first part of that conversation. So what's it like to be at home now when you would normally be in Springfield?
Well, I actually thought we weren't going to be very busy with I don't want to call it a shutdown because government is still open, but we've been extremely busy trying to keep up with all of the agency conference calls and all of the constant emails and concerns with constituents. So we've been extremely busy, so not much downtime.
So you're away this week and next week for sure. Are you hearing anything from leadership about a time frame for when lawmakers will be able to actually return to Springfield?
No, we've heard rumors that we may go back April 1st, but that is truly a rumor. The Dems are caucusing today. I actually called Representative Halpin right before our call and asked if there was any additional scoop that he knew that I could give you, and he said not right now. Just really waiting for the governor to make some decisions. So he didn't have anything to offer right now, but we'll just have to play it by ear. I think they're just watching to see if there's any increases and, if we can get a handle on the number of folks that are, getting the virus. And if that continues to increase, then I think they'll have to, make some decisions and actually come up with a plan.
It certainly is a waiting game for everyone. You talked about being busy. What about alternatives for legislative activity like teleconference committees, debates, and maybe potentially votes down the line? Has that ever come up for discussion?
It has, and the governor has he has opened up in his executive order for the Open Meetings Act. It's not ideal. Rules did meet, and I'm not sure if they met. They don't have to follow the Open Meetings Act, but a lot of our bills were assigned to committee. So that is happening. They did extend the bill deadline. So things are still moving. So we just have to wait and see. I think we can do that. It's just how they're going to do that. I know they're working on the IT piece of it. It's kind of hard, even just us getting this arranged today. I know there's technology, to raise your hand to speak and to do different things. We do telecalls all the time, but to over talk one another, it's kind of hard. So I don't know how it would actually work, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and eventually you'd also want to be transparent and make it open to the public, at least the hearings that are open to the public too. I imagine that has to be a challenge as part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the witness slip process, people can do that online now. Whether or not somebody wants to give testimony, it would be difficult. So I think they would probably, there's obviously some bills that, not that all bills aren't important, but there are going to be some bills, the budget, we can't function without a budget. There's bills for the hospital assessment. There's some bills that we absolutely positively have to address compared to other bills that maybe could extend on to a later date. And we're going to have to go back and address those for sure. I just don't know the process of how we're going to do that.
Of course, this whole process certainly pushes back the process that you guys would normally do things. And of course, you just mentioned the budget because the state constitution requires that lawmakers pass that budget by May 31st to avoid that supermajority requirement after that. I guess, how concerned are you about that deadline, and can emergency legislation be adopted to work around that in any way given these such extraordinary circumstances?
Well, and that's another rumor, and we're kind of in limbo as well with the public. There's talk of a lump sum budget, and whether you agree or disagree, government has to happen. There is no way we can have a budget impasse again. So we have to have government moving, and if that's the avenue to keep it going, I'm not saying I'm for that or against that, but until we have a clearer path of what's going to be happening with our health, we just have to wait and see. But I'm I'm certainly considering it and open to it and the idea of it. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Part of my conversation with Tony McCombie. Straight ahead, now and next, where the state representative stands on the governor's policies to address the coronavirus so far, what she thinks should follow. For the record.